today's race on medium traction. It's far. There he's one. I don't know. No, we're actually here. Round 6 is here as new challenges await these drivers at Imola. We're going to be doing medium traction control tonight or none, as a lot of these drivers choose. But I'll tell you what, these curbs can be really nasty tonight, and I will not be surprised if we see a few drivers spin out. Good evening, guys. I hope everyone's doing good. And we have Jordan McGraw out here in the booth. Also, J-Mac Attack. He's going to be racing tonight also, so double duty for you.
Yep, double duty. Gonna try to give whatever, limited knowledge I can add to it. Getting some laps out on the racetrack, I should be able to give a little better info on how the cars are handling, how the racing is, how the track feels. Should be a lot of fun, and hopefully I can add something.
All right, well, speaking of trouble spots and things to look out for, where do you think that's going to be tonight?
Everywhere.
Kinda.
A lot of corners here are full commitment. I mean, it's very easy to overdrive. Going to be very easy to you want to be aggressive. Want to use every ounce of racetrack you can to make as good a lap time as you can to get to the corners as fast as you can. But man, the curbs here are very, very rough. If you hit them wrong, you're going to go for a spin or a slide. And like I said, every corner is full commitment. A lot of them are really fast. A lot of them are very deceptive. It's gonna be a tough race. It's gonna be racing the racetrack for sure.
Absolutely. We have Z46. We're missing you out here tonight. He says he'll be back next week and says Sector 1 and Sector 3 easy to get track limits, and we found that a lot in practice, so it'll be interesting to see what'll happen out here. But I can tell you, I've seen a few spin outs just from the curbs, getting these guys a little unsteady, and off they go. So I think that's going to be another interesting aspect out here. As far as points and stuff go, let's take a look at our points and see what's going on out here. We have Polish Hammer. He is not here tonight, but he is in the lead headed into this race with 103 points. Ferrari Nut is in second with 88 points. Z46, 84 points, sitting P3. Jacob X99 is P4 with 57 points. Scarface, first season out here, doing phenomenal, sitting P5 with 56 points. Leaf Justin in 6th with 38. Sober David in 7th with 21. Gale Force 97 has done a few races with us now. He is P8 with 18 points. Dion Ford Dub with 11 points, sitting P9. And J-Mac Attack, who is going to be racing tonight, he sits 10th with 10 points. Bloomy Doll, he is not showing up tonight so far, but he sits 11th with 8 points. Hokey Fan with 6 points. Wombat with 4. And MJ Seals, who will be with us again tonight, 2 points. Constructor standings, let's take a look at these. Williams out here with 197 points. So they're doing amazing. That's going to be Polish Hammer and Z46. Neither driver is out here tonight. They're going to take a hit for sure. McLaren with 95 points. Sauber with 89 points. Red Bull with 56. Haas with 21. RB with 20. Mercedes with 16, Aston Martin with 12, and Ferrari sitting on board with 11 points. All right, let's take a look what we have here in qualifying. So far, Jacob X99 with a 115.6, and we saw a couple of drivers out there with close times to that. Mayor of Bag City with a 1:15.7. Ferrari Nut with a 1:15.7. And Justin with a 1:15.8. These times, Jordan, are a little bit faster than what we saw in practice.
Yeah, they're really, really quick and super close together. Our top four separated by, 2/10 here, 3/10. Very, very tight amongst our front four, and it's only going to get tighter as we go along. If we have a few more drivers still to put a lap down, it's going to be interesting to see who gets the pole. But Jacob, he's shown signs that he might be going back to. Oh, and as I speak, Ferrari Nut put 7/10 on all of them.
Yeah, with 1:14.94 Ferrari Nut. He is the fastest so far with just under 12 minutes left on the clock. But Jacob said he does enjoy this track. You can definitely see that as he's out there. See Scarface. No time yet for him. Currently in Sector 3, which, as Z said, Sector 1 and Sector 3 is going to be easy to get those track limits. You can gain or lose a lot of time in Sector 3 with the way it's laid out and depending on how you drive it. So we'll find out what Scarface can get, as hopefully he's going to be making his time right here. We're going to find a 1:16.9, moves up to P5.
Yeah, and as mentioned in the chat earlier, track limits are a huge player in this, especially at the final. If we're out of the chicane at the beginning of Sector 3, turns 14 and 15, that is a very difficult corner to stay on the racetrack. And then the double apex at the end, turns 17 and 18, are very, very tough, very easy to overdrive 17 and put just too much of your car over that curb and to get a track limits violation. So a lot of it's going to be a tough race. It's going to be a race, I think, where we see a ton of penalties among our drivers.
We talked about Z last week and how he's saying, I'm trying to improve on the penalties. I know he's not here tonight, but I'm kind of curious how he thinks he would do in the race tonight. He's got the speed everywhere you take him, but I know he's improved on the penalties also this season. I'm just kind of curious how that would go for him at Imola. Be interesting to find out. Mayor of Bag City, you can see him on his out lap, getting ready to head into Sector 3. Currently on board with a 1:15.768. As J-Mac has said, the times are extremely close, and they were in practice. They were just a little bit slower than what we're seeing currently, which is very interesting. Usually we don't see that much of an improvement in lap times until later on in qualifying. Coming around the final part, getting ready to cross over the start-finish line. We'll see if he has any improvement in his lap time. He will not improve his time. He's going to stick P3, currently 1:15.7.
Yeah, Mayor Bag City, a veteran of this league, not racing most of the season, but making a rare appearance tonight. One of the drivers we feel like could give Ferrari Nut a run for his money if he's able to perform like we have seen him. But as you said, P3 still only a tenth ahead of Leaf Justin, almost a tenth and a half behind Jacob. Still has some pace to find if he's gonna be able to challenge Ferrari Nut.
Wasn't it Mayer that was the champion? Was it 2 seasons ago?
He has been, yes. He was the champion 2 seasons ago, I do believe.
Yeah. So it's good to have him back out here. I'm kind of curious how he's going to do. Currently looking very, very strong. Jacob, I'm really impressed with how he is running so far here tonight. I think he's going to have a really great shot. It's just, I think a lot of it is going to be about consistency. Oh, Z says, can someone get me a game invite? I might be able to make it. All right. Yeah, I'm all about it, man. Let's get you in here. It'll let me at least. All right. Unfortunately, I cannot help you with the party invite as I am in my own chat, but game invite. There he is. 11 drivers that will be set to grid here at Imola for round 6. It's going to be a fun night for sure. I know he's going to be missing his teammate. Next week, I do believe we're headed to Monaco, so
Oof. That's going to be an interesting one to watch.
I was going to say, I know you're going to be really fond of that one.
I mean, it's a fun track to test drive around, but it's an awful, horrible, no good, very bad racetrack.
And there you have it. There you have it. Z already in the pits, getting ready to make his run. Under 7 minutes left on the clock. We'll see what he can do out here with a short amount of time. Kind of curious if he has even been able to put in a practice lap.
Yeah, coming in ice cold is always fun.
It definitely makes things interesting. Few drivers still have yet to put a lap down. Z making his way out on track. Dion has yet to make a lap, but he is currently out on track. I don't think this lap is going to count. We're in all red as he gets ready to go over the start-finish line. Yeah, that lap has not counted. Seals has yet to go out, and it looks like J-Mac going to be making a lap out here.
We're going to scuff some tires at least.
What these guys do run out in qualifying, they will have that wear on their machine as they head out to the track for the race. I want to say we're going to have 32 laps tonight, right, Jordan? I don't know if you paid attention to that.
Yes, that's the number that I heard.
Fair enough.
Or that I remember hearing. I'm not 100% sure if that's actually accurate, but I don't really pay attention to rules and things.
Well, we're gonna find out soon enough. Dion headed into Sector 3. Sharp S right here. It's you can see him kind of fishtail coming out of it. It's going to be another spot that we're going to have to watch. I do believe Jordan mentioned it as turns 14 and 15. As we talked about earlier, a lot of drivers, you can gain a lot of time in this sector if you can drive it and get off those exits. Great, get into the corner properly. But if you don't, you're going to lose a lot of time out there. See already in the purple for Sector 1. We'll see how he manages around Sector 2. Hugging those sides extremely tight on the curbs. Around the corner, getting ready to go into Sector 3, a hard right. Coming up on that 14 and 15 that we just spoke about, gets through it really well. See how that lap time goes as he makes a couple of left-handers and around onto the front stretch past the start-finish line. We'll see what he does. Already to P3, a 1:15.626. About 7/10 off of Ferrari net currently. Jacob still sitting out there, 1:15.447 in second. Mayor of Bag City in pits. Leave Justin on an out lap, coming around at 1:15.8 as he currently sits. Scarface, Gale Force, Sober David, Dion, Seals, all in pit lane. Turn 1, lap 1. Jordan, how do you think that's going to go? It usually is, isn't it?
It's not. It's. We usually see some action there. These guys are going to be on top of each other. It's a very fast corner, and I mean it's heavy braking, but it's also fast, and it's it's a pretty tight turn, and it immediately you have to be prepared for an immediate switchback to the right. So that's it could be interesting. Once we make it through, I think it's going to be a battle against the racetrack itself. But that first couple of sets of corners and then the hairpin are going to be really difficult. And then I think from there it's who can handle the racetrack the best that will succeed tonight.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think a lot of this, you're going to have to be extremely consistent, just stay on the track. It's just going to be a battle against the track tonight, as you said. If you can stay consistent, stay on the track, don't die from the curbs, I think you're going to have a solid run and make up a few positions from people who aren't able to do so. We'll have to see who is able to do that. But Ferrari Nut, we've seen a treacherous season from, wrecking early on or just running into trouble and having to race back. And somehow, most of the time, he's usually able to do it. Hopefully tonight, I know he is wanting a smooth race, one that is not going to put him in the back and make him, try to run as hard as he can to make it back up there. So we'll see how he does.
Basically, almost our entire field out there right now. Leaf Justin, I think, is the furthest along of anybody on a lap currently. But, yeah, he's going to come around. He's going to go into the final sets of corners into 17 and 18. We'll see what kind of a lap time he is able to put down if he's able to improve on that time he has that has him third.
We're about to find out. Coming around that final corner down the front stretch. Oh, goes into pits. Okay.
Didn't like it. Decided he was done.
Gale Force out here. It looks like MJ Seals also out. Mayor of Bag City out. Sector run currently.
His lap. Yep. He's beginning his lap. The two Williams cars are not Williams, Alpines or RBs, whatever they are. There's something. Those two drivers are working their lap right now. Seals almost in position to be able to get a little bit of a tow. He's lost a little bit of ground on Gale Force, but still not a terrible lap out of these two.
Kind of curious, so we're going to see an improvement from Ferrari Nut as he sits on top of the board with a 1:14.9. Will he be able to improve that as he's making his final run as he comes around into Sector 3? MJ Seals 1:17.9. That's going to stick for him. Gale Force a 1:16.4. Ferrari Nut making his way around along with Mayor of Bag City, previous champion for the F1 series. Got a nice trophy to boot. Moves up to P2. Yeah, 1:15.4, 1:14.4 for Ferrari Nut. Improves his time just a couple of tenths here.
Yeah, Ferrari Nut a full second on the remainder of the field. Let's see if Jacob has anything for the front row here. No, he does not. He stays third. So Mayor of Bag City, long-awaited return to the series. He's going to start on the front row alongside Ferrari Nut.
Very interesting. All right, you see it there. Ferrari Nut and Mayor of Bag City in second. Jacob third. Justin in fourth. Z46 joining us last second, sitting P5. Scarface in sixth. And in seventh, we have Gale Force. Eighth is going to be Sober David. Ninth, MJ Seals. 10th, Dion 4Dub. And 11th is going to be Double Duty J Mac Attack out here.
Hi.
All those soft tires. We're going to see a couple of groups, I think. Those 1:15.4s. 3 of those. That's going to be Mayor of Bag City, Jacob, and Justin. Not too far behind is going to be Z46, but I have a feeling he's going to improve that during the race. But again, I'm going to talk about those penalties for him. he has improved quite a bit on those penalties, but I'm a little worried about it for tonight.
This is the kind of track that will test that. I think we'll see if he's able to keep the penalties down. Even 1 3-second penalty, I think, would be a victory for anyone tonight.
Yeah,
As difficult as it is to kind of keep the car on the racetrack.
absolutely. All right, these guys are getting those setups in, tires situated. We're going to find out the weather. We won't. Drivers will. So hopefully Jordan will be able to update us. Got some dark skies out there, but hopefully no rain. We don't want to add to the chaos. Thought we might have some rain at Miami, but dry, beautiful day out there. If you're out there joining us, thank you. My mic is echoey. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Let me know if it's still echoey. We're going to have our formation lap up ahead. It is echoey. Why is it echoey?
All right.
We'll see what happens here.
Hopefully we don't all crash. Hey, I'm actually on the right tires this time. Cool.
That would be nice if we did not crash, right? All right, let's get those settings up and running.
Again, this is going to be a very important, formation lap, getting the temps up, getting heat in the tires, getting grip in the car, because again, so much of this track is about commitment and being able to get it right. And that's going to make it real difficult, especially with now 10 other drivers out there alongside of you. You got to make good decisions, have a good handling car, and do what you can not to hit anything and crash yourself.
Morgs, how are you? I'm trying to fix my mic. I'm unplugging things, plugging things back in. So if I sound echoey, it was fine the other night. Now it's not. So. Oh, I think I fixed it. Little unplug back in.
That's usually how you fix things. Have you tried plugging it?
I know. The most very basic thing in the world. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope everyone's doing well. Alrighty, here we go. Lining up. Very nice. I love it when things work, right? Ferrari not sitting on pole. I know he's hoping for a great race. A couple of drivers having issues getting into their box here. 11 drivers gridded, ready to go. Here we go, waiting for the lights to go out at Imola here for 32 laps. We are off and running. Take a look as we are going too wide already. And what is the deal with the camera angle? They are just fanned out everywhere. Absolutely insane, but here goes Ferrari Nut. Wow, driver off track. Jacob X99 with a rough start. He's going to go all the way to the back from P3. Man, absolutely heartbreaking after just phenomenal laps out here in practice and qualifying, but hopefully no damage. Let's see if we can get a look at his wing. Looks good from this angle, so hopefully he'll be able to stay out and make up some time here. Single file as we are going into Sector 3 here. Take a look. We do have a double wide right here as they are just doing absolute crossovers. On top of each other, 4 drivers. This is going to be Scarface. You can see the sights. A long train for these drivers. Ferrari Nut, a 120.0. Here we go. Lap 2 of 32. Scarface looks like he's backing it off a little bit. Did not seem confident heading into this race. It's going to be Gale Force in front of him, in which they had an amazing battle to the finish at Miami. Here you're going to want to watch the curbs. A lot of drivers, you hit the left curb. Yeah, getting on the curb just a little bit. Fishtails it. A fantastic save on his end. How's it going, J-Mac?
Almost caused more issues for Jacob. I got into the rear of Dion and broke my wing. He broke a little bit earlier than I was expecting, and that was with Jacob directly on my rear. So not the greatest start for him and not the greatest start for us, but we're still out there. I'm not being told to come in, so I guess the damage isn't too bad. But yep, just glad we didn't add to Jacob's woes to start this thing.
Left wing damage for J-Mac attack as he sits P11. Dion 4 dub and 10th. Fastest lap for Ferrari Nut with a 118, and Z answers quickly with a 117.5. Take a look at Mayor of Bag City. You can see him right here. He's got Z46 right on the back part of his car right here. Ferrari Nut up 2.5 seconds though. These drivers, I'm not sure how much racing they will do with each other at the moment. If I'm them, I'm going to try to see if I can catch up to Ferrari Nut, close that gap a little bit. They just lost another 2/10. Find out shortly what they can do.
I think catching Ferrari Nut's going to require a mistake out of him or a safety car. I think at this point, you just want to race, get all the track position you can, because there are some places to pass, but there are not a lot of great places to pass. You need a lot of mistakes. I mean, the front straight is a nice long DRS zone. It gives you a lot of opportunity to get around somebody, but other than that, it's not the easiest place to navigate around somebody.
Z having some issues with those curbs. We've seen him about 3 curbs in a row, just almost losing it, having to really hold on. Try to keep control of his machine. Leaf Justin, you can see him making his way into Sector 1, heading into Turn 1. Very, very tight race, though. Gale Force sitting P5. Scarface in 6, and we're going to have some very tight racing between Seals and Jacob. Jacob just narrowly gets by, but some contact between the 2 drivers. Sober David trying to follow through, but takes it a little wide, gets a piece of curb and has to slow it up to keep control. Rough start for Jacob, but he's already gained about 4 spots from where he ended up after Turn 1. Talked about Ferrari not having that typical race. Each week he's struggled at least somewhere and had to make his way back up so far. Being out front and already just over 4 seconds. As Jordan said, we're going to need a safety car or something drastic to happen for these drivers to catch him. He also just set another fastest lap here tonight. Lap 5 of 32 we are on. Man, oh man. He is on a rail.
Yeah, if he can get out and run by himself, he's typically been in good shape. It's been whenever he's had to race people, had to battle, had pressure on him, that he has struggled with the handling of his car and put himself into some bad positions that have made mistakes. But so far, he has full rein on where he wants to run and zero pressure out back.
Absolutely. J-Mac attack. 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Going to be 2 of them so far on the board. Dion and J-Mac. And we have a tight race. This is going to be for P2 as we have a caution in Sector 2, but it is continuing to move here. Mayor of Bag City in second. Z46 directly behind him. And behind Z is going to be Leaf Justin doing a phenomenal job keeping up. And another penalty is going to be Sober David. I think these are just going to stack up tonight.
Yeah, the winner might be the person that's able to keep it within the track limits.
Mayor of Bag City gets passed by Z46. He goes up into P2. We saw him make maybe 1 or 2 laps. Dion for dub, another penalty. Let's take a look at the penalty report here, see what's going on. 6 seconds. J-Mac was 6 seconds.
Hey, this thing isn't turning with no left front wing, okay?
I would imagine. A lot of drivers, top 4 drivers are out on the medium tire compound. Gale Force going on the hards. Then we have another 3 drivers on the medium. And a couple more on the hards here. Switch them around. Jordan, do you think it's going to be a 2-stop race or a just 1-stopper?
I think this will be a 1-stop. This is a place where the tire wear does seem to be pretty, it can change the balance of the car pretty well. So I don't know, but I think this is going to be a customary 1-stop race for pretty much everybody. I don't think anybody's going to try to get too crazy.
Justin showing up tonight. He's P4, but man, he has got his eyes set on P3 as he is directly behind Mayor of Bag City, just doing a great job so far. Our top 7 drivers, no penalties just yet. I do not want to jinx him. Scarface, here we go. Another penalty, and it's going to be Scarface, who sits in
Our
P7, our top 6.
Uh-oh.
Virtual safety car. What happened?
Sober David has crashed.
David, no, out in the gravel here. Makes his way back on. Let's see if we can find out what type of damage he has. He is missing all of that front wing from the looks of it. Yeah. That thing is having a tough time driving. Jordan right behind him. We're going to have Dion 4 dub behind him. So our first virtual safety car of the night. Lap 7 of 32. These drivers were getting pretty well separated. 18 seconds and penalties. Just within 8 laps. 7 if you count the green ones. Back to racing once again. I would imagine, let's take a look at David. Yeah, here he comes down pit lane. No way that car is fun to drive currently. He's got to get that wing replaced. It's going to put him back into last with a 3-second time penalty. Ferrari Nut, 5.3 of a gap between him and Z46. Jordan into the grass, makes his way back onto the track. Dion directly behind him. Ooh, Dion gets slideways. Just mowing the lawn. Nothing too serious here.
Oh, we're 1 warning away from 9 already.
Oh.
This is it's been a bit of a disaster out here.
I'd probably have 21 seconds already. Not gonna lie. Or just, in a wall somewhere. More than likely. Couple of drivers a little concerned about how the race was going to go tonight. Concerned about the penalties, concerned about the curbs. Seen a little bit of both so far. Still a ton of racing left. These races are difficult. I mean, they're very technical tracks, and you have to be on it every step of the way, every corner, every lap, and that's extremely difficult to do. Jacob X99 up to P6. Doing a fantastic job. I'm kind of curious, though, if he's driving a little bit frustrated as the lap 1 events put him all the way to the back. Fortunately, with minimal to no damage.
I would like to hear how that happened, what his perspective on it was, if it was a mistake on his part or if he got a little bit of help from someone else's mistake that caused him to go off track and fall to the back of the pack and have to make his way up.
Where replays would come very in handy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see it. Gale Force sitting P5. On his own little island currently. Nothing to worry about out back. Just has to try to chase Justin down out in front of him. But man, Sober David, another 3-second time penalty. That's going to be 3 drivers with 6 seconds on the board. Top 6 drivers, no penalties. And then we have Seals and a sandwich of penalties around him. Here we go, side by side. That's going to be for P7 as Seals makes his way around Scarface. Scarface having some great battles out there the last several races. Doing wonderful in points tonight. He just did not have the confidence coming in here, but I think tonight is just going to be consistency. You gotta be consistent.
Indeed.
Oh, Morgs. All right, we got Morgs keeping us updated. Hearing him from the other room, I believe someone hit him. And she is talking about Jacob, who is currently sitting P6. Yeah, I saw him fan out, and it looked like he had his teammate right next to him, which was Leaf Justin. I don't know that those two made contact, as they were, I do believe, close to being side by side. So I assume someone behind him made contact. I don't know, Jordan. I'm impressed with Justin tonight. A fantastic run. He really is still, yeah, he's on the heels of Mayer, and Jordan is probably like, that. You know, this track is a little too difficult to be making me talk about it. I would be like, what are you doing to me?
I have a billion seconds of penalties. I've been in 9th place. Like, I don't care. Like, talk to me.
Mayor of Bag City. 3-second time penalty. First race with us for the season, or of the season, should say. Directly behind Z46, these 3 drivers have been very, very tight. We always have that pack racing.
That looks like a really sporty battle for second place right now.
Definitely is. See who our biggest movers are. It's going to be... Biggest mover is going to be Z46 gaining 3 spots, and then Gale Force gaining 2, along with Seals, who also gained 2. J Mac Attack, who has gained 2. Jacob currently has lost 3 spots, but from where he fell back to, man, I would love to see him up here and what he could do. He has obviously got a ton of speed. Dion Fordub, another penalty. That's going to be 9 seconds on the board. Chat, let me know. What do you think? How many penalties are we going to see tonight? Are we going to see one person with 21 seconds? What are we going up to? We need to spam. We need to spam the makers of the game so we can... I know. We need... MJ Seals joins the penalty group with 3 seconds on the board, and we got some side-by-side racing. Mayer and Z46 going side-by-side. Mayer takes out the lead for second. Going to be very close, and Justin trying to take advantage of their battle, sticking his nose in there, but nowhere to go. He backs it off and goes back to P4. But man, oh man, these guys are on top of each other. Unfortunately, Mayer has that 3 seconds in penalties. He has to put that gap over these drivers by the end of the race. Z46 trying to go side by side. He takes over P2, Mayor of Bag City in third, Justin in fourth. A look on board with Justin as he sits just half a second behind third place. Feel like he remained pretty quiet about how he felt tonight moving into Imola. But man, is he looking extremely strong. Things have seemed
surprising how difficult this track is, because it's kind of Monza-ish in that it's straight lines and then a chicane, but it's just the way this place flows. It's just so different.
Do you think it's more the curbs or just, I don't know. For me, it was the curbs.
It's more the track layout. Like, you don't never really get a chance to, you're always going really fast, but you don't really have a chance to breathe because there's a lot of, like, long sweep. Like, most of the straights are, like, have curves in them and they're, like, long and sweeping, so you don't really get a chance to breathe. And then, again, it just feels like the track limits are incredibly, incredibly strict.
Mayer coming off a pit lane. We saw him go, and he's going to come in on those hard tires. Kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious if he wanted to keep a little separated from the other drivers. A lot of racing back and forth, or did he just need to go in? Z46, though, 9 seconds back from our leader, and a penalty for Z. 3 seconds. Almost every driver has a penalty. Only 4 do not. And Justin takes a pass for P2 as Z46 is going to be P3. Gale Force in 4th. Jacob 5th. Steels in 6th. Mayor of Bag City is going to take over 7th. J-Mac, another penalty out here. Gonna join the 9 seconds. Scarface 8th, J-Mac 9th, Dion 10th, and Sober David 11th. Our leader coming into pit lane. Here he goes. Gonna take that hard tire compound. Gale Force goes out to the lead. Gonna enjoy that clean air out front. Some screen time from being in P1. 11 seconds in front of Ferrari Nut. Mayor of Bag City moves up to 3rd. Justin 4th. Z46. Gonna be P5. I know Justin is doing phenomenal tonight. I'm pretty excited. Dion 4Dub, first driver to reach 12 seconds. What's it going to be tonight? I don't know. 21 just keeps entering my mind. I think we're going to hit the 21 mark for somebody.
Well, we're not quite to halfway.
We could hit.
Definitely feels that way.
We could hit almost 30. I don't know. I feel like the most we've hit is 21. We'll see. Z46 right on the heels of Leaf Justin. Scarface moves down a spot. Sober David is going to go up to P9. See how many people have gone in. Almost every driver has gone in except for Gale Force and J Mac Attack. And I'm not surprised by J Mac Attack. He likes those long runs, likes to stay out as long as possible.
Even for having only one good wing, the car still feels pretty all right.
Imagine how great it's going to feel with 2 good wings.
The driver is just not very good tonight.
Gale Force has some company up there, but I do believe that might be Dion. Yeah, it is Dion Fordub, who's sitting 11th currently. Mayor of Bag City, 3-second penalty. That's going to be 6 on the board. Only 3 drivers now with no penalty. Gale Force has lost a second gap over Ferrari Nut. And now almost a second and a half here. Mayor of Bag City, let's take a look. Hopefully on the straight, he's going to have a view of Ferrari Nut, but Ferrari Nut's making his way around the second left-hander. See if he's got that view of him, but he is currently... No, he definitely doesn't. Ferrari Nut heading into that first corner. Mayor of Bag City just getting ready to head into that first corner. Z46 about 3 seconds behind. Leave Justin right on top of Z. The closest battle out there at the moment. Lap 17 of 32, over halfway. J-Mac Attack up in 6. Jacob in 7th here, about 2 seconds behind J-Mac Attack. Seals in 8th, Sober David 9th. Scarface 10th, Dion 11th, and Gale Force still stinging out there. Same with J-Mac. See when these drivers come on in, but...
About lap 23. All
right, well, there you go. Gale Force, though, he is on his way in. You can see him here. He's on hard, so I assume he will be taking the mediums. And Ferrari Nut, new fastest lap, a 1:17.3. Gale goes to the mediums. 2 drivers currently on the mediums. Everyone else on the hard tire compound. .4 back. Next closest battle is going to be Jacob and J-Mac Attack. This is 4 position. Jacob directly on the heels of J-Mac, and he's going to go to the inside. Jacob takes that spot over as we head into the corner. On his way, we'll see if he can catch up to Gale Force. Ferrari Nut joins the penalties. He has 3 seconds now. Mayor of Bag City, 6. Z46, 3 seconds, along with Leaf Justin. Our 2 last drivers with no penalty is going to be Gale Force and Jacob X99. I think we're going to see a lot of switching of positions here for the finish. They got to stay closer than 3 seconds, which will be the interesting part, because these drivers are starting to get extremely spread out here. I know, penalty party, yeah. We knew this race was going to be all about the penalties. Curbs and penalties.
Will we have another single car spin like the one we had earlier with the Haas of Sober David? Or will we continue to go green?
You know, I kind of want to make things a little interesting. I'm all about, let's go in green. Let's see how it goes. I would not be sad if we did get a safety car. I must admit. I don't want the driver to be taken out. But I would like to see a safety car. See how things shake up.
Frozen wants us to crash in a flaming heap. Confirmed.
I know Jacob would love to see a safety car. I don't know if he wants a repeat of what happened at the start, but yeah. I am also curious about how close Gale and Jacob are to seeing a penalty. Most penalties our driver has is 12 seconds, and that is going to be Dion Fordub. Next up, sorry to say, is going to be J-Mac Attack with 9 seconds, and then 3 drivers with 6, and 4 drivers with 3. Ferrari Nut still on a rail. Man, taking the curbs pretty hard here. I was a little surprised to see that. Didn't even seem to get loose, but he's got about almost 8 seconds in front of Mayor of Bag City sitting P2. Z46 is going to be almost 3 seconds behind, but you can see he's got his eyes set on Mayor of Bag City. Meanwhile, he's got Leaf Justin in tow here. Very, very difficult track, but I love what I see from Justin. Another penalty on the board. Seals with 6 seconds. 8th, 9th, and 10th, all 6 seconds. Morg says penalty party. It's crazy. It's crazy. Gale Force, he joins the penalty party with 3 seconds on the board. Jacob is the only driver without a penalty. Can he go another 12 or so laps without a penalty? I couldn't do it. I can tell you that.
It's pretty impressive considering the position he's been in. He's had to drive pretty hard to make up ground and to keep the car on the track better than pretty much everyone else while being sort of in the most desperate position of anybody in the field. That's very impressive.
Absolutely. Good point for sure. You know, again, I'm a little curious about how this is going to turn out, how these penalties will affect their finishing positions. They're just so spread out. If we see a couple of them where if it finished now, they would lose a spot and another driver would gain a spot. But man, we have these drivers very, very well spread out. Probably not up to a 9-second penalty. Mayor of Bag City. P2, Ferrari Nut just constantly putting those fastest lap down. 1:16. Absolutely flying out there. Z46, he still got his eyes set on Mayor of Bag City, but Justin is not letting him out of his sight. Gaining a lot of time going into the corner, but unfortunately gave it back up on the exit. Justin is having a phenomenal run tonight. Would love to see him in the booth. See if he can't get it done, but he does have a 3-second penalty along with Z46. So they would keep their position. However, Mayor of Bag City was 6 seconds. Definitely going to affect his finishing order. Another penalty. Not what he wants or needs to see. 6 seconds. I'm holding out hope for you, Jacob. Hopefully we don't see a penalty. The only driver, if he can do it, the only driver without a penalty. No one has made it past 12 just yet. That's a good thing. 23 of 32. Oh.
I don't think that one was deserved. But
and here we go. J-Mac joins the 12s club, and Jacob, the final driver to not have a penalty. He has 3 seconds on the board. Take a look at those penalties. That is a very busy board. The sigh. I know, Morgs. I know. All right. Well, Ferrari Nut. You know, I haven't seen him in any type of trouble, and as J-Mac has mentioned, when he's by himself, he's just fine. So I'm not expecting any trouble for Ferrari Nut. Obviously, anything can change, and when I say that, it usually does. However, he's looking really, really solid. Came in extremely confident. Mayor of Bag City, great to have him here tonight. First time in this season. currently running P2. Z46, 2 seconds behind, so that gap has increased just a tad. Running third, leave Justin still half a second behind. Just extremely impressed. I don't think I could say it enough, but great run for him. I know he's got to be happy about it. And if he can hold on to only 3 seconds and keep that gap, he will take over that spot. Heck, he might take over P2. Scarface, 3-second time penalty. He's going to move up to 9 seconds. Man. I feel like we are just handing out the penalty cards. Got Oprah Winfrey here, and she is just on a roll handing them out. Jacob currently sitting 6, about 6 seconds behind Gale Force, who's having a pretty solid race, 16 seconds behind Justin. We've seen him on his own private island. Not a lot to worry about. MJ Seals, who is his teammate for RB. He's going to be P7, 21 seconds behind Jacob. Scarface is 12 seconds behind, sitting P8. J-Mac in 9th. Sober David, after earlier trouble, brought out a virtual safety car. He says P10. Dion 4 Dub, 11th. $25 of 32. Can anyone catch him? That gap has remained pretty consistent, I will say. It's not growing as fast as it once was. J-Mac on those soft tires, Gale Force on mediums, along with Sober David. Everyone else is on the hard tire compound. Dion. We have another penalty for him. 15 seconds on the board. Maybe my 21 seconds. Maybe my 21 seconds was off, but that's a good thing. D46, 1.2 behind. Really pushing the limits here. What's the worst sector to get those penalties in?
Oh God,
all of it.
Yeah, all of it. The chicane at the end, or the chicane at the start of. He does smoke.
3.
Yeah, right there. That corner I just went through that's a bad place, and then yeah, the final set of corners, very easy to overdrive here and put your left just a little too far over that curb, and then the game's like, hey, here's a penalty, and you're like, all right, I didn't want to finish where I was running anyway.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of that tonight. A lot of drivers moving around just a little bit. It's gonna be very interesting to see where it turns out. You're gonna have to give me a sec, figure that one out. But Z46 making that move over Mayor of Bag City. He moves into P2. Mayor of Bag City 3rd. Leave Justin 4th. He has lost some time there, so I'm not sure if he got loose on a curb, but he is almost 2 seconds behind Mayor of Bag City. Have a look on board with Mayor as he is directly behind Z. Lap 27 of 32. Getting ready to head into Sector 3. Coming up on the difficult part. Turns 14 and 15. Chicane that can throw a few off here. sorry.
What? No, I'm talking about.
I figured.
I'm talking about Ferrari Nuts smoke screen. Go gadget smoke plume.
Are you behind him? Oh yeah, you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I have been left. Yep, I have driven all the way up for second.
Very nice. Good job, Jordan.
Yeah, I am the man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That gap still staying pretty consistent. That's even throughout a battle with Z and Mayor of Bag City. Justin 2.6 behind, so he's starting to drop off a little bit. Dion with another time penalty, 18 seconds. Z looking a little loose as he's going over that curb and off the corner. Manages to keep control of it, but let's see what he does here. Fortunate to see Justin fall off a bit, almost 3 seconds behind. Let's go on board. Take a look at those tires. He's about 13 laps on those tires. Mayor 14 laps. Front two, 13 laps for them. Gale Force behind is going to be on medium tires, just 10 laps for him.
Oh.
This race quickly coming to a close here.
We got a Ferrari off track on the track map, but he has gotten it back going again. I believe that is Dion.
Ferrari has gained almost another second over Z46. Dion in sector 3. 18 seconds. I don't want to see a 21. But, you know, I just have a feeling it's going to be 21 tonight. And another time penalty is going to be Ferrari Nut. 6 seconds. Not going to be enough to lose his place. I mean, he is just so far out front. 10.6. And we have a driver moved over for him as he's making his way around. Mayor of Bag City, another time penalty. These drivers, you can just feel the urgency in this. Causing more mistakes. Tire wear. Not helping at all. And then driving through... a little bit of a smoke screen, as Jordan was talking about earlier.
That was my smoke screen that time.
I'm sure they appreciate it. They are right behind Z46. Here he goes, making a move on the inside, and he will take over P2 as they head into the first corner of lap 30. Dion, 21 seconds. No. Say it ain't so. Z46, 9 seconds on the board. Man, they are really starting to stack up here. They are trying to take care not to get any more penalties. Z right behind him also has a 9-second penalty. Justin now 4.3 back. I want to go on board with him for a little bit. Possibly some handling issues. We do have a caution. Let's see who it's involving. And it looked like it might be Scarface. Justin, another penalty here. No, Scarface should be fine. Take that back.
It was me.
Okay.
To let those guys go, so I wasn't in front of them.
All right.
Even though I'm ghosted, I figured it'd be nicer to get out of their way.
Very nice of you.
Indeed.
Robert Nutt still in the lead, 10.4 in front of Mayor of Bag City. He could get 9 seconds in penalties and be just fine. Comes Mayor of Bag City. That gap has increased between him and Z46. Now almost a second and a half. Justin sitting fourth, 4.2 behind. Jacob makes a pass for P5 over Gale Force. Both drivers have a 3-second time penalty. Lap 31 of 32. Ferrari Nut quickly heading into his final lap.
Yeah, Z had a big moment out of the final corner there, and that's how Mayor of Bag City was able to put that extra little bit of gap on him.
Here we go, final lap of the race. Ferrari Nut, I have not seen a hiccup from him the entire night. 11 seconds over P2, 6 seconds in penalties. He is safely in the lead here. Will we see a win from Ferrari Nut at Imola? We're about to find out, but I'm going to say yes. And hope I don't jinx him at least. Do you believe this will be his third win of the season? See him getting ready to exit Sector 2, go into Sector 3, into the challenging corners of 14 and 15. Mayor of Bag City, almost 12 seconds behind. Z46, 1.1 behind. J-Mac attack, another penalty for him, 15 seconds.
I don't know how. I don't even know.
Here we go, Ferrari Nut making his way around the final corner to the front stretch here at Imola. Lap 32 of 32. He is your winner. Round 6. A huge congratulations. Great job. I don't think that he could run that race any more perfect than he did. Mayor of Bag City crosses the line. Going to be second. Z46 holds on to P3. Leaf Justin going to be fourth. Gale Force, another penalty. 6 seconds on the board for him.
Goodness.
Someone needs to add this up and see how many penalties total.
What a disaster.
Jacob crosses the line, rounds out the top 5. Gale Force, 6. MJ, still a 6 seconds penalty. It's not showing him as finished. No, he's way down there. Scarface, 8th. J-Mac Attack, 9th. Sober David, 10th. And Jordan explained to me why MJ Seals is not checkered flag next to his name.
Because I don't think he's gotten to the start-finish line yet. I don't think.
Well, how is he in 7th? And everyone else behind him is finished.
Because they got lapped and he has not been lapped.
Okay, fair enough.
He is the last driver on the lead lap.
That would make sense. What a race!
Color commentary you come for.
Yeah. Thank you for the help. Yes. A great race from Ferrari Nut. Man, quite the battles between second, third, and fourth. Try to get these drivers in. It never lets me, but we're going to try it. We are going to try it. Jordan, I'll get Ferrari Nut in. Do you want to get the other two in?
Okay, who are the other two? It was
You're
Mayor
gonna-
Bag City
And Z.
and Z.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, let's get these guys in here. Ferrari Nut celebrating his, I do believe, third one. He won last week at Miami, right?
Yes, he did.
Little celebration for these drivers. A heck of a race. I said 21 seconds, and by George, did we get it? Ferrari Nut, what a race from you tonight. No one could catch you. Great job out there. You know, we had penalties all over the board, but did you think you were going to put that much of a gap over the field?
I kind of maybe expected a little bit, and especially, you know, until Z showed up, I kind of figured it was going to be a baseball term, a walk-off without Polish here, but then Z showed up to make it interesting. Still ended up being a, 12-second before penalties, gap, but good to see Tim back out here and picking right back up where he's left off. He's, right there. If he worked at it a little more, might be a little closer, but good to have him back out here either way.
Absolutely. Did you think we're going to see a safety car at all? I know some of these curbs are pretty brutal, but did you have any issues with those?
Everybody has issues with them around here. It's just the nature of it. Um,
Good point.
that was a pretty sloppy race as far as track limits and everything for me. The only reason it was that sloppy is because everybody else was being that sloppy. So, um, yeah, that safety car is always likely around here just because of how narrow it is. I always say that regular track limits ought to be run on this place and some of the old school tracks that have the grass right up to the edge of the track and gravel traps and whatnot. So it kind of polices itself really, and little minor overruns don't really make too much of a difference. But yeah, safety car is always an opportunity around here, just because it's you spin and there's a wall there right there, especially Tamburello at the start of the lap.
Well, next week we're headed to Monaco. What do you think about that track?
Well, we'll see how the traction control princess gets on there, but I think I'll be all right.
All right, there you heard it from this week's winner here at Imola. Congratulations on the win. Heck of a race for you. And next up is going to be Mayor of Bag City. It's great to have him out here for this race. Hopefully, we're going to see him in a few more. Jordan, I don't know if you want to give him an interview since you were out on track. And
I mean,
if
I can. I
that's
could just, I guess. Wasn't really knowledgeable about his day, but I know he was in a battle pretty much the entire night for the second spot. Eventually, was able to break away there and come home with P2 in spite of all the penalties and craziness going on the tracker. Talk about your first time back here at Shake and Bake.
Oh man, it felt good. It felt good. I don't know how many of these I'll be able to do this year, so it was really cool that I was able to hop out here today and bring a Ferrari back on the podium. Um, Day was fun. I figured I would be around Z once I saw him join. Justin was right there so much of the race. We barely dropped him near the end of the race off of a DRS train. He was kind of on it. Kind of gets trainy here once you're around guys who have a similar pace. So definitely felt the rust, and I think the biggest thing was I just did not like that medium tire. Game said go 14 laps. On the 13th lap, I'm like, I'm not vibing with this. I pit a lap early. It got me about 3-second gap that Z really had to burn his tires to get to me and pass me. And once he did that, his tires seemed to be a bit more shot. And then I was able to get it back with a couple to go and then kind of get a little bit of a gap there at the very end. So strategy was key there. Really happy with the way it turned out. I was really paranoid I was going to bin it at some point, so really proud of myself for putting down 32 relatively clean laps. I do think everybody kept seeing my number get bigger, 3, 6, 9 seconds in penalties, which then made them relax a little because they felt like they had the gap on that, and then they would then make the mistake to get to my time penalty. So really happy that Z and I were both at 9 seconds. We could race to the end. Strategy was killer, and it's really good to talk to you in Frozen and be back on this podium. It's an honor.
Well, that is Mayor of Bag City, an adaptable night, a solid night, and a podium finish back in Shake and Bake. Back to you, Frozen.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to see him out here another time or two this season, but definitely great to see him out here. Z, running out the podium tonight, you had a heck of a race, and we talked about the penalties and how you have improved, but tonight, no one was immune to those. But take us through your race and how you felt out there. We know you joined last second.
Yeah, I pretty much came into this one cold turkey. I hadn't touched the game in I don't know, like 2 days now, and it takes me a long time to get up to speed. So I'm glad I was able to hop in, set a relatively decent quality lap, and keep it, for the most part on the track. Some of those track limits warnings I got were complete and utter bogus, and I am gonna go have a word with the stewards after this race because I want some of what they're smoking. But yeah, it was honestly a pretty fun race. The tire wear ultimately did me in. Just pushed a little too hard at the start of the race on both compounds. But that's what I've been struggling with, was having pace at the beginning of a stint. So it's glad to see that that pace is there. Put in an absolute flyer on that hard tire a couple laps into the stint to drop Justin, which was critical for the race to stay on the podium. But yeah, I mean, Car felt pretty good most of the race. It was just the last 2 laps of each stint really did me in. I think I could have, had that not been an issue, been within 10 seconds of old Mr. This is the best track in the game, and I love this track. But yeah, actually ended up being a lot more entertaining,
right.
I'm sure, for your broadcast. But yeah, definitely had I qualified better and managed the tires a little bit better, I definitely think that there could have been at least a thought out front.
Question for the battles. How difficult is it to go side by side and try to make moves with how narrow this is with curbs and whatnot?
On this track, if it's not the straight and you're not on the racing line, you might as well kiss the position goodbye.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
You're
we
not
almost,
gonna,
we
it's
almost
gone.
kissed each other. Shout out
Multiple
Z for being a
times.
good. Shout out Z for being a good driver. It's pretty easy to deal with your counterpart when you got DRS on that main straight. Outside of that, there's got to be a lot of trust. So I trusted him big time. What was it, like lap 8 or so? I want to say it was medium tires still.
Yeah.
And we went into that chicane side by side, and fortunately both came out alive. I definitely put the pressure on Z, and I'm glad that. Shout out Z for being a quality race car driver, and we made it through together. But that was hard, and it was dangerous, and we were both on edge there. And so to answer your question, very difficult to keep the car, on the racing line and pass somebody not on the main straight here. So shout out us for not wrecking at any point and having some good, entertaining racing for everybody.
Absolutely. All right, Z, one last question. Monaco, how do you feel about it?
Love me some good old Monaco. It's always a fun track to run around. I think it'll be another competition of who will finish second, as I'm probably going to be off my pace a little bit, just trying to keep out of the wall towards the end of stints. But you never know. Maybe I'll just show up and grab a sneaky pole position and maybe a win. But we'll have to see how the week develops.
All right. Well, you heard it there. We are over here at Imola. Final part of the night here, and Ferrari Nut with the win. We'll see you guys next week at Monaco. Should be a wonderful race, and man, I don't think we're going to see as many penalties as we have tonight, so that is a good thing, but incredible racing by these drivers. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.